Welcome to this Practical Explainer. Today, we're going to transform your lesson planning workflow from a stressful late-night chore into a highly efficient, totally sustainable system. If you're a teacher trying to wrap your head around the new basic education framework, I want you to drop your shoulders, take a deep breath, and relax. You are exactly where you need to be. This workshop is all about practical implementation, figuring out how to work smarter, not longer.
Right, let's dive into the reality of this. So many educators out there are just staring at a blank screen, trying to figure out how to make their usual teaching style fit into this new ILL format, and honestly feeling totally overwhelmed. The anxiety of messing up your paperwork can feel super heavy. I mean, we've all had those late nights staring at a mountain of forms, wishing they would just fill themselves out. But today, we're going to lift that weight. We're focusing strictly on realistic, actionable steps you can actually use to reclaim your time.
Here's our productivity roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the ILAW reality check. Then, we'll dive into Hack 1, Targets First, followed by Hack 2, Reusable Banks, and Hack 3, Batch and Modify. Finally, we'll wrap up with some smart AI integration rules. Let's get right to it. First up, the ILAW reality check, balancing compliance with actual classroom dynamics.
Look, we all feel the pressure of the shorter terms under the enhanced Math Attack curriculum. The demands are definitely higher, and the time we have with our learners feels more precious than ever. Just look at this instructional monitoring tool used during the opening of classes. Right there, under Instructional Readiness, it explicitly checks for prepared ILAW lesson plans. Instructional monitoring absolutely requires complete ILAW plans, but here's the honest truth. A flawless paper plan means absolutely nothing if it doesn't survive contact with an actual dynamic classroom. Your document has to be usable for you.
So let's fix that. Moving on to Hack 1, Targets First. This is our setup phase. Okay, so what is this hack? This first strategy completely flips the way you look at the lesson plan template. It takes you right out of that top-to-bottom writing trap. Usually we start at the very top of a document and just grind our way down, right? Instead, we use Targets First. Why does this save you time? Because by defining your target immediately in the intentions block, you eliminate literally all the guesswork. Suddenly, every single learning experience, activity, and assessment becomes instantly easier to write, simply because they all point back to this one single target.
So how do you actually do it? Think of it like assembling your goals step by step, kind of like holographic cards on your digital desk. Step 1, identify the specific competency from your budget of work. Step 2, convert it into a student-friendly I can statement. And Step 3, write 3 clear, measurable success criteria. That's it. It's like building the foundation before you try to decorate the rest of the house.
And what does this look like in a real ILAW plan? Let's say your topic is climate change. Your target is simply, I can explain the major causes and effects of climate change. Boom. Your criteria? Identify 3 causes, explain 3 effects, and provide real-life examples. This highly focused structure defines exactly what mastery looks like for your students, right from the jump. No fluff, just clarity.
Now here's a massive time-wasting mistake you have to avoid, falling into what we call the complexity trap. Please don't pack 3 or 4 competencies into one session. Seriously, it just leads to rushed pacing where you're watching the clock like a hawk and the classroom just feels chaotic. The actual productivity hack here? Stick to 1 competency per lesson. Having that laser focus gives you realistic pacing. Believe it or not, less lecturing on multiple topics actually equals way more student mastery.
All right, on to Hack 2, Reusable Banks. Welcome to the assets phase.
This is where we start working significantly smarter. So what are reusable banks? They're basically curated digital libraries of your proven classroom activities and assessment templates. Think about it. Why on earth would you spend hours designing brand new tasks from scratch every single week when you can create a reusable system? This bank essentially acts as your own personal teaching assistant. You just instantly drop these proven activities right into the learning experiences and assessment blocks of your ILAW template.
The how-to for this is incredibly simple. Step 1, just open a master document or a digital folder on your computer. Step 2, create some core categories, things like icebreakers, group activities, reflections, and exit tickets. Step 3, and this is absolutely crucial. Every single time an activity works beautifully in your classroom, immediately document it in your bank before you forget it. The beauty of this hack is just how fast it builds up. Look at these examples. Over just a few weeks, your digital dashboard will be completely filled with proven, ready-to-use building blocks. Need a quick pre-lesson hook? Just grab a ThinkPair share. Need an end-of-lesson wrap-up? Pull your 1-minute paper template. It totally removes the friction of constantly trying to invent new things.
But a quick warning on assessments, there's a mistake you definitely need to avoid.
Do not select an activity just because it keeps the room quiet. Relying on things like coloring worksheets is a massive time waster. Sure, they might be engaging, but they provide really weak evidence that a student actually understands a complex concept. Instead, pull application tasks from your bank. Things like a simple 2-minute student demonstration at their desk. Remember, your activity must strictly align with your learning objective if you want true evidence of mastery.
Next up, Hack 3, Batch and Modify. We've officially made it to the execution phase. So now we take those clear targets and those awesome reusable assets and we combine them using rapid execution strategies. What is this? Well, batching simply means planning several lessons in one continuous sitting rather than struggling day by day. And copy and modify means duplicating a previous successful ILAW template and just tweaking the variables for your new lesson. Why is this a game changer? It saves massive amounts of time because it stops you from constantly switching your mental context and it completely cures blank page syndrome.
Here's exactly how you execute this workflow. Step 1. List out all your weekly competencies. Step 2. Write all the learning targets and success criteria for the whole week first. Get it all out of your head. Step 3. Quickly assign your activities and assessments from those reusable banks we just built. Finally, Step 4. Duplicate a previous template and adjust the text. When you batch your workflow like this, your ILAW sections connect together automatically, literally like puzzle pieces. I can't stress this enough. Opening a blank document and starting from scratch every single day is a one-way ticket to burnout. That's the mistake. By batching and duplicating, you're reusing this solid structure you already built. You're just swapping out the target, the specific activity, and the assessment. This one single shift in your habits can easily save you 15 to 30 minutes per lesson. Guys, that translates to dozens of hours saved over the school year.
Finally, let's look at Smart AI integration rules, Assistive Tech under DPAD order number 3. We absolutely must discuss technology. Under DepEd's guidelines, artificial intelligence is officially recognized as an assistive tool. And honestly, it's a fantastic productivity multiplier. You can use it to instantly generate ideas for learning targets, brainstorm discussion questions, or draft complex rubrics for your reusable banks. But as educators, we have to apply our pedagogical discretion. The policy requires clear transparency, meaning you've got to include a declaration of AI use in your lesson plans if you utilize these tools.
Furthermore, when you're designing the assessment portion of your ILAW plan, you have to explicitly categorize AI use for your learners. You need to tell them, is it prohibited, meaning no AI is allowed on their final output? Is it limited, where they can maybe use it just to brainstorm? Or is it extensive, where they are actively co-creating with the AI? You have to define this super clearly for your students, and perhaps most importantly, you must verify every single output the AI generates for your own lesson plans. AI is incredible for speed, for sure, but it completely lacks context. Always remember, you are the experienced teacher. You understand your unique learners, their specific reading levels, and your local community context better than any algorithm ever will. AI is an assistive tool. It is absolutely not a replacement for your professional human judgment.
Let's keep things in perspective here. Always prioritize progress over perfection. The ILAW document is meant to be a compass, pointing you in the general right direction. It's not a rigid GPS script that forces you to ignore what's actually happening right in front of you in your classroom. Teaching will always be greater than paperwork. So, allow your lesson plan to be flexible enough to embrace those magical, spontaneous, teachable moments when a student asks a brilliant question out of nowhere.
Look, you don't have to overhaul your entire workflow overnight. That's too much pressure. Just take these strategies, targets first, reusable banks, or batching, and apply just one of them to your next planning session. Ask yourself right now, what is one unnecessary complication you can cross out of your lesson plan tomorrow? Reclaim your valuable time, keep your focus on your amazing learners, and I'll see you in the next Explain.